Hey friends, today we are going to read a story called Wild Weather. Let's talk about the genre of this story. Wild Weather is a narrative nonfiction. A narrative nonfiction gives facts about a topic, but it reads like a story. As you read Wild Weather, let's look for information and facts about a real topic, visuals such as maps or diagrams with text, ways that visuals and words help readers understand the text. Now remember, all good readers set a purpose when they read. So what is our purpose going to be today? We're going to read to make smart guesses or inferences about things the author does not say. We will use clues in the text and pictures to help us. Okay, so let's take a look at the power words, your vocabulary words from this week that will be appearing in Wild Weather. Tough, pellets, predict, clings, funnel, occur, excess, and damage. The author of this story is Thomas Kingsley Troop. Let's learn a little bit about him right now.
Thomas Kingsley Troop wrote his first book in second grade. It was an exciting story about a superhero. He kept on writing, and now he has written more than 40 books for kids. Some are fiction and some are nonfiction. When he isn't writing, he likes watching movies and taking pictures.
So let's begin Wild Weather by Thomas Kingsley Troop, illustrated by Jamie Kristoff. Now, before we begin reading the text, go ahead and take a picture walk through it. Use your prior knowledge, characteristics of this genre, and illustrations to predict what you think the text will be about. Now, I want you at the end to return to your predictions and decide whether your predictions were correct or not. Remember, as you read, adjust your predictions from what you learn from the text. Great job. Let's begin. High up along a mountain trail, a hiker sat and folded an origami bird. "It sure is sunny," she said. As she held the bird high, a gust of wind lifted the paper. The bird began to fly. Whoa! How did it get so windy? Just then, the bird spotted a duck flying nearby. What makes the bird that the hiker is holding begin to fly? Very good, that's right. A gust of wind lifts the paper. How does that detail and the illustration help you understand what origami means? That's right. The illustration shows a bird that was made by folding paper. An origami bird is made out of paper. So is the origami bird real or make-believe? And how do you know? Yes, it's make-believe. The origami bird is talking. Real birds do not talk. Hey there, what's your name? The bird remembered the hiker had said Sunny. Sunny, I think. I'm Chuck. Nice to meet you, Sunny. Say, I've got a real problem. My wife, Natasha, is missing. We were trying to fly away from here. How are Sunny and Chuck alike and different? They are both birds, but Chuck is a real bird and Sunny is made of paper. But both birds can speak. How do you know which bird is talking? That's right, excellent. A dotted line connects the words each bird says to the picture of the bird that says the words. Okay, let's make some inferences here, okay? The text says that Chuck has a problem. His wife Natasha is missing. Chuck also tells Sunny that he and his wife were trying to fly away from here. I wonder why they want to do that. I know that birds may fly to a warmer climate when it gets cold. So I'm going to infer or think that is the reason Chuck and his wife want to leave. Why do you want to leave? Sunny asked. The mountain valley looked nice enough. Aren't you a bird? Most birds fly south before winter. This winter is making flying tough. Where did all this wind come from? It's simple, he said. The sun heats the land, making the air above it warm. The warm air rises, cool air rushes to take the place of the warm air, and because the earth spins, wind can come from any direction. So, do you think that the wind carried Natasha away? Sunny asked. I hope not, Chuck cried. She was right next to me, but then she disappeared. What do you notice about the way the author gives information on these pages? That's right. Sunny asks a question and Chuck answers it. Okay, so let's think about what we learned here. What causes warm air to rise? That's right. First, the sun heats the land, causing the air above the land to get warm. So, what's the effect? Yep, warm air rises up and cool air takes its place. Why can wind come from any direction? That's right, because the earth spins all the time. What text feature do you see here that helps you understand what causes wind? Very good, the diagram with the arrows. What does warm air do? That's right, it moves up, it rises. What does the cold air do? That's right, it moves into the space where the warm air was. Why do you think the author uses a red arrow for the warm air and a blue arrow for the cold air? Yes, that's right. Red is a color for something that is warm, and blue is a color for something that is cold. Excellent job, friends. A drop of water struck Sunny's wing. Just what we need. It's raining. Fly underneath me, Sunny. I don't think wet paper is good for flying. Clouds and rain? How did they get here? Check out this water cycle chart. It explains how clouds form and rain falls. Wow, that's pretty simple, really. Let's look at this chart. Water cycle. The sun heats water on the ground, turning it into an invisible gas. Gas rises, cools, and turns into water droplets. Water droplets clump together to form a cloud, and water droplets combine and fall as rain. So why does Chuck tell Sunny to fly underneath him? Very good. Chuck knows that Sunny is made of paper. He doesn't want him to get wet in the rain. What does this help you to infer about Chuck's character? Yeah, you could infer that Chuck cares about others. He wants to protect Sunny. So let's make some inferences. Why do you think Sunny says that the water cycle is pretty simple? Yeah, because we have a chart here that makes the water cycle easier to understand. Sunny would have been more confused if Chuck had tried to explain it himself. How does that help you understand why the author put this information in a chart? Well, of course, the chart is easier to read. It shows each step of the cycle and how one step causes the next to happen. So, rain is just a bunch of tiny droplets, Sunny said? That doesn't seem so bad. Normal rainstorms are fine, but thunderstorms can make lightning and heavy rain. When too much rain falls all at once, a flood can form. Whoa! So, how are thunderstorms different from normal rainstorms? That's right. Thunderstorms can make lightning and heavy rain cause floods. So, why does Chuck say that normal rainstorms are fine? That's right, because they're not as dangerous as thunderstorms. They do not make lightning and they don't cause floods. Hang on, Chuck yelled. Hail is falling. Hail? Sunny chirped. What is that? Sometimes storm clouds called cumulonimbus clouds form. Water droplets in the highest parts of the cloud bounce around and freeze into ice pellets, Chuck said. The pellets hit water droplets and the hail gets bigger. And once the hail is too heavy, it falls, Sunny asked. You got it, Chuck shouted. Come on, let's head for the woods. So how are rain and hail alike, and how are they different? That's right. Both rain and hail are made of water droplets. Rain is liquid, but hail is frozen. Why do water droplets become hail instead of rain? Let's explain with some evidence. Okay, very good. Water droplets that form hail are found in the highest part of the cloud, where it is colder. The colder temperature freezes the water droplets. It turns them into ice pellets. What other questions do you have after reading the part of this text? Well, I don't know about you, but I wonder, why doesn't the frozen water become snow instead? Let's make an inference here. Why does Chuck want to head for the woods? Yeah, that's right. Chuck doesn't want to be hit by the falling hail. He and Sunny will be safer in the woods because the tree branches will protect them from the hail. Isn't there any way to know when the weather will get wild? There is. Meteorologists study and predict weather. They use tools to help them. Okay, I see a word here that, I don't know, it's kind of a big word. Let's talk about it. Meteorologists. Do you know what a meteorologist is? A meteorologist is a person who studies the patterns on Earth to predict what will happen with the weather. Weather tools, Sunny asked? Like what? They have instruments to measure wind speed and direction, Chuck explained, and radar to track rain and thunderstorms. Meteorologists even use satellites in outer space to track how and where the clouds move. Okay, so let's make some inferences. Why do meteorologists use satellites? Very good. Satellites help meteorologists track how and where clouds move. This is probably easier from outer space. Why do you think studying clouds is an important part of a meteorologist's job? That's right, clouds cause rain and hail. Knowing how and where clouds move can help meteorologists predict when and where rain and hail will fall. Sunny shivered. His papery body was growing cold. Natasha is lost, and it will snow any day now, Chuck quacked sadly. So what's the deal with snow? It's a bit different than hail. The water vapor turns into an ice crystal. The ice crystal clings to other crystals and forms a snowflake. Well, that doesn't sound so bad, Sunny said. What type of wild weather is Sunny talking about now? That's right, he's talking about snow. What does Chuck say is the cause of snowflakes forming? Yes, water vapor turns into an ice crystal. Then the ice crystals cling together to form a snowflake. So, what is the effect of the ground being cold? That's right, the snowflakes pile up on the ground. Why do you think the author organizes the text with the characters' questions and answers? That's a good question. I think it's because he wants to inform readers about weather and entertain them at the same time. Having the characters explain the information is a fun way to learn about weather. If the ground and air are cold enough, the snowflakes pile up and cover the ground. Chuck quacked. The lake freezes, and it's tough for birds like us to find food. Oh, so that's why you fly south. So, in your own words, let's try to summarize what you and Sunny have learned about why birds fly south for the winter. Well, here are my own words. Winters in the north are cold. Snow falls and everything freezes. It's hard for birds to find food. So, when winter comes, the birds go where food is easier to find. I'm not flying south without my wife, Natasha, Chuck quacked. Where are you? How's the weather down south? It's much warmer, but the weather can get wild there too. What do you mean? Sunny asked. Why doesn't Chuck know where Natasha is? She's missing, that's right. The picture and the text tell me that Chuck is still looking for her. Chuck said he will not fly south without her, so I know he will not stop looking until he finds her. Why do you think Chuck says that weather in the South can get wild? Think about what you know about this word and clarify your understanding of what he means. That's right, I know that the meaning of wild is out of control. I think Chuck means that the South can have dangerous weather too. Let's take a look. Heat is measured in temperature, Chuck explained. When the air is hot, the temperature is high. A low temperature means it's cool. That makes sense, Sunny said. Too much heat can hurt people. Plants and even animals, Chuck quacked. During a heat wave, the temperature and humidity stay high for 2 or more days. Oh, I wouldn't want to be stuck in one of those, Sunny said. Where was the worst heat wave on record? That would be down under. The temperature in Marble Bar, Australia was over 100 degrees Fahrenheit or 38 degrees Celsius for 160 days in a row in 1923. Hot days, mate. All right, so let me remind you that when an author includes numbers, dates, or months, we should stop, notice, and note. Using the numbers to infer can help us better understand key ideas. So I want you guys to stop and think why you may use this strategy on page 117. That's right, the fact box says that the worst heat wave ever happened in Australia in 1923 when the temperature was over 100 degrees Fahrenheit for 160 days in a row. Whoa. Where is Natasha? She couldn't have just disappeared. What happened to those trees? A tornado came through here years ago, Chuck said. What's a tornado? Sunny asked. What do you notice about the trees in this picture? That's right, some of the trees in the front are broken off on the top. So, what can we infer from that? Well, when Sunny asks Chuck what happened to the trees, Chuck tells him that a tornado came through years ago. I think the tornado broke off the tops. What does this help us to understand about tornadoes? Oh, yeah, they are dangerous storms. They are powerful enough to break off the tops of trees. It's a funnel of wind that forms in the sky and wrecks what it touches on the ground, Chuck said. Tornadoes form during a thunderstorm. They are more likely to occur over flat land. But how? Sunny asked. When the wind in a storm changes direction, increases speed, and rises, it makes the air below it spin. Rising air pushes the spinning column of air downward until it's vertical. The spinning funnel of air speeds up, forming a tornado. Let's look at this fact box. Tornadoes are usually determined to be weak, strong, or violent. The violent ones can have winds in excess of 200 miles or 322 kilometers per hour. They can destroy homes. Only 2% of tornadoes are violent. I had no idea weather could be so scary, Sunny said. That's nothing. My cousin Frank almost got caught in a hurricane once. A hurricane? I'm afraid to ask. A hurricane forms in summer or fall, Chuck said. It forms over an ocean and moves toward lands. Why is Sunny afraid to ask about hurricanes, do you think? Yeah, I agree. When Sunny says that he had no idea weather could be so scary, Chuck tells him that's nothing. That makes Sunny think that a hurricane might be even worse than all the other kinds of weather he's learned about. Does it make lots of wind like a tornado? Asked Sunny. Yes. Strong winds rotate around the eye of the storm, said Chuck. The spinning storm picks up energy from the warmth of the ocean. When it hits land, heavy winds and heavy rain can damage buildings. The eye of the hurricane is the spot in the center of the storm. In the eye, the winds are light or calm. Clouds break up and rain ends as the sky clears. Okay, let's make some inferences. The text says that the center of the hurricane is called the eye, but it doesn't explain what that is. I think I can use the picture to make an inference though. The center of the hurricane looks like it's peeking out of swirling winds, like an eye might look through a peephole of a door. I think that's where the name came from. So, why must a hurricane form over the ocean? That's right, it gets energy from the warmth of the ocean water. That energy makes the winds around the eyes spin. Wow, all that dangerous weather scares me, said Sunny. Here's the thing, Sunny Chuck said. We can't control weather, but meteorologists can warn everyone when dangerous weather is coming, and we can prepare for it. Hey, Chuck, is that your wife? It is! Where are you, Natasha? I went back for my sunglasses. I can't fly south without them. Come with us, Sunny, Chuck said. I'd love to, Sunny said. But can I get some of those cool sunny glasses too? Okay, friends, so why do you think the author wrote this narrative nonfiction text? That's right, I agree. To explain facts about the weather in a fun and entertaining way. How do you know that? Absolutely. A narrative nonfiction text gives true facts about a topic as it tells a story. This text tells a story about Sunny and Chuck and their search for Chuck's wife. Along the way, Chuck explains real information about different kinds of texts. Okay, so I want you now to revisit your predictions. Think what you were thinking about at the beginning of this story. Think about what your prediction was and determine if your prediction was right or if you need to adjust it a little. I hope you enjoyed learning about weather today through this really fun story.